There are many women in this world, but there are few with a true heart, and I'm not speaking about outer beauty, success, or social status. I'm speaking of a kind of woman who walks differently, speaks differently, and lives differently. She is not perfect, but her heart is pointed toward God. In a world filled with noise, deception, and distraction, a woman with a true heart stands out like a burning light in the darkest night. If you are a woman longing to find your place in a world that constantly tries to define you, then I urge you, stay with me, because this message is not for the faint-hearted. It is for the woman who is tired of pretending, tired of performing, tired of being everything the world demands, yet still feeling empty. It is also for the man searching for the kind of woman whose spirit is grounded, not just her looks. By the end of this message, you will know the marks of a true-hearted woman, and you'll never look at the world the same again. A woman with a true heart is not moved by applause, nor is she broken by abandonment. You see, the world teaches women to shine for attention, to perform for affection, and to impress for approval. But the woman with a true heart doesn't live for the spotlight. She lives for the secret place. Whether praised or rejected, seen or forgotten, she walks the same path, because her foundation is not built on people's opinions. It's built on God's promises. She doesn't follow the culture, she follows Christ. While the world shifts its values every year, she remains rooted in eternal truth. She doesn't chase what's popular. She obeys what's holy. Others may call her old-fashioned, but heaven calls her faithful. Her strength is not in rebellion, it's in reverence. She is bold not because she's loud, but because her convictions are unshakable. This kind of woman has loved and lost, but she still believes. Her heart has been broken. She has cried silent tears that no one ever saw. She has been lied to, walked over, and taken for granted. But here's the miracle. She didn't let bitterness define her. She didn't let pain harden her. Instead, she let God use her heartbreak to build a deeper strength within her. She turned her wounds into wisdom and her past into power. A woman with a true heart fights her battles differently. You may not see her shouting or clashing with others because she wages war in a different realm. Her battles are fought on her knees. Her tears have been her prayers. Her victories have come in silence, through nights of calling on God when the world was asleep. She doesn't talk about every struggle because she knows the one who sees in secret will reward her openly. And oh, she doesn't seek attention. She carries anointing. While others dress to be seen and speak to be noticed, this woman knows her presence alone shifts the atmosphere. There is something about her spirit. It draws the right people and repels the wrong ones. She doesn't chase after love. She waits for what's sent by God, because she knows what God sends will never come to destroy her peace. Now don't misunderstand. She's not perfect. But she is surrendered. That is the true key. She's not flawless. She still makes mistakes, but her heart belongs to the Lord, and it is in that surrender that God shapes her, uses her, and trusts her. The world may overlook her, but heaven knows her name. Her prayers shake nations. Her faith moves mountains. Her obedience is a weapon against darkness. So let me ask you something. Are you chasing a good life, or are you surrendering to a godly life? Because there's a difference. The good life may give you comfort, but the godly life gives you purpose. A woman with a true heart may not have everything the world offers, but she has everything heaven provides. Peace, power, presence, and if you're a woman listening to this, I want to speak directly to you. God is not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be true. Stop trying to be everything to everyone. Be faithful to the one who created you. Your value doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being loved by God. And if you give him your heart, he will give you a life no man or money can buy. And to the men, Listen carefully. Stop searching for what impresses the eye. Start praying for what aligns with God. A woman with a true heart will challenge you, cover you, and build with you. She will walk with you through fire and stand beside you in purpose. She is not just a wife. She is a weapon against the enemy. This world has seen enough performances. What it needs now is authenticity, holiness, truth, and God is raising up women whose hearts are fully His. The question is, will you be one of them? Amen. A true heart isn't loud, it's steady. In today's world, noise is everywhere. Social media rewards the most outspoken. Culture praises those who draw attention to themselves. We are taught from a young age that to be seen is to be significant. But God's definition of strength is not measured by volume, it's measured by consistency. A woman with a true heart doesn't need to shout to be heard. She doesn't need to constantly explain herself or fight to be understood. Her spirit speaks louder than her voice. She carries a quiet authority that doesn't come from charisma, but from character. Her strength is not in how loud she can speak, but in how deeply she can stand. While others are moved by emotions and tossed by circumstances, she remains grounded. She is not perfect, but she is planted. Her roots go deep in faith, and it shows in how she handles both honor and hardship. The true-hearted woman does not waver when people walk away. She does not crumble when she is not celebrated. Her faith is not dependent on external affirmation, because her soul is anchored in something eternal. She does not get swept away in drama or flattery, because she knows who she is, and more importantly, whose she is. Her strength is in her stillness. It's in her ability to remain calm in chaos, to show up even when she doesn't feel seen, to love when she's not loved back, and to keep walking when others sit down in defeat. Her strength is silent but undeniable. It doesn't seek applause. It seeks alignment with God. You see, loud hearts often burn out. They seek attention and live off reaction, but a steady heart burns quietly and never goes out. The true-hearted woman understands the power of patience, the beauty of peace, and the quiet confidence that comes from walking closely with God. She's not trying to prove anything to the world, because she's already approved by heaven. She doesn't need to announce her worth. Her worth is evident in how she carries herself. She's consistent in love, unwavering in truth, and dependable in storms. She shows up in the dark when no one is watching, and that is where God meets her, shapes her, and trusts her with more. She is led by conviction, not convenience. In a world where most people follow what feels good, what looks easy, or what benefits them in the moment, a woman with a true heart follows what is right, even when it costs her something. Her decisions are not based on popularity or pressure. They are shaped by deep-rooted principles that cannot be bought, broken, or bribed. She walks in integrity not because it's the easy path, but because it's the only path her spirit allows her to take. While others change their minds to fit the room they're in, she holds firm to what she knows God has spoken. She doesn't compromise her values for comfort, or her calling for approval. Her yes means yes, and her no means no, not because she's rigid, but because she's rooted. This kind of woman does not live by feelings alone. Feelings fluctuate, feelings deceive. She's learned through trial and error that convenience is often a trap. It offers short-term ease but long-term regret. Conviction, on the other hand, demands sacrifice, but it births purpose and lasting peace. When she speaks, you can hear that her words are not empty. They come from a place of deep spiritual clarity. She doesn't say what sounds good, she speaks what is good. She doesn't chase what makes her look strong. She chooses what makes her strong, even if it makes her unpopular. Conviction leads her when no one is watching. It governs her in her private life. It shows up in how she treats people who can do nothing for her. It shows up in how she handles money, time, influence, and temptation. When she's in a room filled with pressure to conform, she doesn't fold. She remembers who she is, and more importantly, she remembers who she represents. Her heart doesn't shift with the crowd because she's not living to please people. She's living to please God, even when it's lonely. Even when it's misunderstood. Even when others label her as too serious, too deep, or too different. What they don't see is the fire in her soul that refuses to die down because her life is built on something eternal, not emotional. She loves without condition, yet guards her peace. A woman with a true heart has a capacity to love that often defies logic. She has walked through betrayal, faced rejection, and experienced deep wounds, but she still chooses to love, not because people always deserve it, but because God loved her first. Her love is not shallow or self-serving. It's not based on whether someone agrees with her, praises her, or treats her the way she hoped. Her love comes from a place of overflow. She gives not to be noticed, but because she has been changed. And yet, though she loves freely, she is not foolish. Though her heart is open, it is not unguarded. She has learned that love does not mean tolerating disrespect. It does not mean constantly pouring into people who only come to take. She has boundaries not because she's cold, but because she knows her worth. This kind of woman understands that peace is not something you stumble upon. It's something you protect. She doesn't let chaos dwell in her spirit. She doesn't entertain drama or live in constant conflict. She may have compassion, but she also has discernment. And while others may mistake her silence for weakness or her distance for pride, they don't see the wisdom behind her restraint. She knows that not every battle is hers to fight. Not every offense is hers to absorb, and not every person is meant to walk beside her. She does not carry the weight of trying to fix everyone or be everything for everyone. She knows that's God's job, not hers. Her love reflects grace, but her peace reflects growth. She has cried too many tears over people who took her heart for granted. She has stayed too long in situations that drained her soul. But not anymore. Now she gives from a full place, not an empty one. She can be kind without being used. She can be available without being manipulated. Her heart is still tender, but her mind is strong. And while she will always lead with love, she will no longer trade her peace just to keep someone close. Because she understands that peace is not the absence of people. It's the presence of God in her decisions, her relationships, and her atmosphere. She is drawn to purpose, not pleasure. A woman with a true heart doesn't waste her life chasing what feels good for a moment. She runs after what lasts for eternity. She understands that pleasure is easy to find, but purpose must be discovered. It takes digging, it takes patience, it takes obedience. While many are distracted by temporary highs, she is being prepared for eternal impact. She doesn't need the latest trend to feel important. She doesn't measure her life by what's popular. She is not led by entertainment, she is led by assignment. This kind of woman walks differently because she sees differently. She knows life is not just about being happy, it's about being whole, and true wholeness only comes when you surrender your own agenda for the will of God. She wakes up each day with a question in her heart. Lord, what have you called me to do today? And that one question changes how she speaks, how she walks, and what she gives her time to. She's not easily distracted because she's deeply committed. While others jump from one thing to another, chasing applause, success, or comfort, she remains anchored in her calling. She is not perfect, but she is faithful, and that faithfulness brings results the world can't explain. Her joy doesn't come from a vacation or a shopping spree. It comes from knowing she is in alignment with heaven, And yet, this kind of purpose-driven living comes with a price. It means saying no to things that look good but lead nowhere. It means walking away from relationships that don't grow her, conversations that don't feed her, and environments that don't reflect where God is taking her. People may not understand her choices. They may call her boring, too focused, too intense. But what they don't see is the fire inside her. They don't hear the whisper of God calling her deeper. They don't see the weight of her assignment. She wasn't made to blend in. She was made to build something. Something bigger than herself. Something that touches lives, transforms hearts, and glorifies the one who formed her. She chooses discipline over distraction, devotion over desire, and obedience over option. Not because it's easy, but because she knows deep in her soul. This is the path to purpose. She prays more than she posts. In an age where everything is shared, documented, and performed for the eyes of others, a woman with a true heart chooses a different path. She knows the power of the unseen. While many rush to announce their every move and emotion online, she retreats into the secret place where no likes, comments, or followers can reach. Her validation doesn't come from virtual applause. It comes from divine approval. Her intimacy with God is not for display. It is her survival. She doesn't need to broadcast every prayer, every breakthrough, or every blessing, because she knows the one who sees in secret will reward her in public. And that is enough for her. She understands that real strength is not found in how loud you are online, but in how consistent you are before God. Her knees have hit the floor more times than her fingers have hit the keyboard. She's wept before God more than she's vented to people. While others type out their frustrations for the world to see, she lays them at the feet of the one who can actually do something about it. She has chosen the discipline of prayer over the addiction of performance. Not because she's trying to be super spiritual, but because she has seen what happens when heaven is invited into a situation. This woman is not interested in impressing people with spiritual language. She is committed to touching God with a surrendered life. Her prayers aren't always polished or perfect. Sometimes they come through broken sobs, whispered in the dark, or cried into her pillow, but every word is real, every cry is heard, and every time she prays, something shifts, not always around her, but always within her. She doesn't pray to manipulate outcomes. She prays to stay aligned with God's will. Her life carries a quiet authority that comes only from time spent in the presence of God. When she walks into a room, she doesn't need to announce herself. Her spirit does. The peace she carries is the result of battles won in the spirit. The wisdom she shares is birthed from conversations with the Creator. She has learned to talk less and pray more, because prayer has done for her what complaining, posting, and performing never could. She can be broken but still chosen. The world often treats brokenness like a stain, something to hide, something to be ashamed of. But a woman with a true heart knows that God doesn't discard the broken. He uses them. She's not ashamed of her scars because they tell a story, not of defeat, but of survival. She has walked through valleys that almost swallowed her. She has cried prayers with no words. She has questioned her worth, doubted her future, and wrestled with pain too deep to explain. And yet she stands, not because she has it all together, but because grace held her when strength ran out. Her past may be marked with mistakes, but her purpose is still intact. The world may have counted her out, but heaven never did. She has learned that brokenness does not cancel calling. In fact, it often deepens it. What she went through didn't disqualify her. It qualified her, because now she knows what it feels like to be in the pit, and she knows how to help others climb out. Her broken seasons gave her compassion. Her pain taught her discernment. Her failure gave birth to humility. She doesn't pretend to be perfect. She doesn't walk with pride. She walks with power, a power that can only come from being completely undone and rebuilt by the hands of God. She may still carry wounds, but those wounds are now wells of wisdom. This kind of woman doesn't wait to be flawless to be faithful. She shows up, cracks and all, because she knows that her strength is made perfect in weakness. She understands that God is not looking for polished vessels. He's looking for surrendered ones. And if he can use a shepherd boy, a barren woman, a prostitute, a widow, and a fisherman, then surely he can use her. She doesn't fake wholeness to gain approval. She walks honestly, trusting that the God who saw her at her lowest has also called her to rise. She may cry behind closed doors, but she still shows up with courage. She may feel unqualified, but she still obeys, because deep in her heart she knows that being broken is not the end of the story. It is where God's glory often begins, certainly. Here's the conclusion and ending of the speech titled "A Woman with a True Heart," written in the style of Billy Graham, with emotional depth, spiritual clarity, and a powerful call to reflection and action. So now, I ask you to look inward, not at your appearance, not at your accomplishments, but at your heart, because a woman with a true heart doesn't always stand out to the world, but she stands tall in the eyes of God. She may not be the loudest voice in the room, but her life speaks. She may not have the most followers, but heaven follows her every move. Her value isn't in what she wears, but in what she carries. Conviction, courage, compassion, and Christ at the center of it all. Maybe today you feel unnoticed. Maybe your quiet obedience seems invisible. Maybe your love has been misunderstood, your boundaries tested, your heart bruised by life. But hear this, you are not forgotten. God sees the unseen things. He honors the secret sacrifices. He rewards the silent prayers. And he is near to the woman whose heart is steady, surrendered, and real. The world celebrates image, but God crowns integrity. The world lifts up fame, but God lifts up faithfulness. So, don't let the noise distract you from the truth. Don't let the applause fool you, and don't let the silence make you think God is absent. He is building something eternal in you. Keep walking, keep praying, keep loving, keep guarding your peace, because the true-hearted woman may walk through fire, but she comes out gold. And so I say to every woman listening, whether you feel broken, unseen, or overlooked, you are still chosen. Chosen not for perfection, but for purpose. Chosen not because you have all the answers, but because you keep returning to the one who does. You are not weak because you cry. You are not disqualified because you've been hurt. Your story is still unfolding, and your heart, when anchored in God, will carry more strength than the loudest voices around you. Let the world chase noise, you chase truth, let others seek platforms. You seek his presence, because the woman with a true heart may be quiet, but her impact will echo into eternity. And if today, even one woman chooses to live from the heart God gave her, not the one the world demands, then this message has done what heaven sent it to do. Amen.